Harley, you know, from the old time school, um, liked me very much. I know Harley did. Um, Harley was big on going back and forth to Japan, and I guess during my career, I went back and forth about 12 or 13 times, and it almost seemed for timing. I don't know why, but I would have to say 8 or 9 out of my 12 tours to Japan, Harley was on the tour. Worked with him a little bit over in Japan. Worked with him when he was world champion going around. But Harley, if he had respect for you, he would take care of you in the match. Now, Race is a tough guy, and you don't want to cross him. You know, he's a tough man. He got in a real bad car accident years back, and he's got this steel rod in his arm.
Right.
You know that.
Yeah.
And the guy's got big fat fingers and a big fist, you know. And boy, with that steel rod, I mean, if he ever nailed you with it, it'd be peeling you off the pavement. And he had also a reputation that he would not back down from anybody. He was a tough, strong. God, what did he do to me that just amazed me? At that time, I was a big muscle head, and I was into pumping iron and everything. Harley never pumped. I mean, maybe early in his career, he might have worked out with some weights. God, he did something to me, something about reaching over the top rope and picking me up by my wrestling tights over the top rope back into the ring. You know, and I was 230 pounds, one arm, which was kind of amazing, you know, off the ring apron.
Right.
You know, just to grab you by the back of your wrestling tights and pick you up over the top rope and bring you in the ring. Kind of, you know, I just was, holy shit, you don't mess with this man, you know. But Harley, if he liked you, he took care of you. I had great matches with Harley. Taught me a lot. Just like Flair, even though styles were a little different, Flair was a little bit more flashy, but Harley was timing.
How did you get paired with Jay Youngblood?
Steve Romero. That's his real name.
Sure.
So it was around 19. I'm thinking late 78, 79. He came in from, I guess, Portland. I think originally Jay is from Texas. God, I don't know. We got riding together, going to the matches, and Rob, I think maybe it was just through discussion that maybe we could go as a tag team. Went into Jim Crockett and said, "How about teaming us up?" At that time, I don't. The company at that time didn't want me to go so much as tag team. They wanted to keep me out there single so I could work with guys like Flair and Blackjack Mulligan and Greg Valentine.
Right.
But teaming me up with Jay would tie that up a lot and not give me that opportunity. Although when we eventually did get tagged up and we proved that we were a good tag team and we could draw some money for the company, we had some matches with Flair and Valentine as they were tagged up.
Right.
Yeah.
And also the Briscoes.
Briscoe brothers, Sgt Slaughter, Don Cornoodle, great matches.
What are your memories of some of those matches?
People ask me, my favorite matches. And of course, the public would ask you about my match with Savage at WrestleMania 3. My matches with Flair in 1989 when I won the belt. And then we had the rematch, which was 2 out of 3 falls.
Right.
They're always asking me about those two. And I understand why, because those two got a lot of PR. Wrestling magazines, they were paid-per-view shows, right? And they got a lot of PR. Not knowing that prior to those 2 particular matches, God, the great matches that I had with Youngblood as tag team with Jack and Jerry Briscoe. The matches we had with Sgt Slaughter and Don Cornoodle. People, they don't know about those matches, but maybe the fans in the Carolinas do.
Right.
And they come to the live show and watch it. But, those were just unbelievable matches.
What was the story behind your retirement match? And I think it was '82 with Sgt Slaughter. So I know they did the big video for you.
That was a match. I think that came about. It was a stipulation that we started doing stuff back then that was unheard of, such as filming on TV, a signing of a contract for a wrestling match. You know,
Right.
We started doing that, and at that time, Crockett, and I think it was who was with maybe George Scott was booking at the time. But we thought, oh, we were so way ahead of our time. But I don't think that wasn't a single match between Slaughter and myself. That match was a build-up for a big match that we had in Greensboro, which was Jay and myself against Slaughter and Canoodle.
Right.
In a cage. And then he threw this last stipulation at me while we were sitting at the table. You know, make the big surprise to Steamboat. That if we didn't win, that I think Jay and I would also have to dissolve as a tag team, but then I would have to retire from the business if we didn't win the match. Well, we won the belt, so we didn't have to do that. But that's just another little angle we threw in there.
Now, did you work for Georgia Championship Wrestling at all?
Georgia?
Yeah.
Yes, Ole was booking.
Right, I was going to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
What was Ole like as booker?
Ole was a real hard nose. He was a real hard nose. He wouldn't take lip from nobody, and it had to be his way or no way. I thought he was an okay guy, but I thought he was. I mean, there was no gray area. Either his way or I'll find you another place to go. He's actually the one that found me call up Carolinas. He got me to Carolinas.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you shocked when Jay passed away?
Yes. Yeah. Young man, 29 years old.
What are your memories of the All Japan tours?
Mm.
And working for Giant Baba?
Mm. You know, Rob, I found for those tours, it was a struggle. As nice as they tried to make it.
Was it the style, or was it being away from the States, or?
No, I did work with some of the Japanese, but my mother was from Japan, right? And over there, all the Japanese wrestlers were baby faces. And most of the Americans were heels going over there to work. And all of a sudden, after one or two tours, I found myself being in more with the Japanese guys and working every night with the Americans. And they loved it. Every night, every show we'd go to, they'd look at the card that was put up on the wall, and all the guys, the American guys, they were all hoping to say, oh God, I hope I got Steamboat tonight, you know, instead of Jumbo or somebody, or Tenaru, because they're stiff, and plus, you know, you're working in their backyard, and they're for some reason, all of a sudden, that same guy, I knew Tenaru when he came to the Carolinas, and he would work hard, but it was amazing the difference work ethic that he had working here in the States, and he's working there in this country. Oh God, you better get in shape, buddy, or they're going to run you over. And so the Americans, whenever we get into the locker room, they look, oh, who do you have tonight? And they say, oh, I got Rick. I got Steamboat tonight. You know. So the working part of it, although I did have several matches with the Japanese guys, and a lot of them were just babyface matches, which is sometimes like grinding teeth out there. And but you know, I just found the tours were hard. We did a lot of traveling, and some days it was 16-hour days to get you where you had to go. Yeah. One day we did every form of transportation to get to this one little spot show. I mean, it was from the plane to the taxi to the Greyhound bus, the bus to the train to a ferry, you know, crossing over this channel, you know, back onto another taxi cab. You know, it was for what everything. We did everything except for a damn horse and donkey just to get there.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.